25 minutes left. Let's do a little PvE run. Show off some of what the priest can do. I'm still learning. And so I don't know everything. And I'm going to be a bit sloppy. But it could be fun just to do a little mob run here. So first things first. Right clicking, you get a block with priest. I'm using the sword and buckler. Sword and buckler. Wants to be in melee. And as a result, blocking is important. But check this out. If you click and hold block for 4 seconds, you see that little flash. And now I can let go of block. And I'm kind of like, I'm always blocking. I get like an auto bubble. So before I start my melee, if I put on my auto bubble, it really helps. It's a bit out of range there. I want to get rid of this bomber. So I want to close the gap on him, dash in here. Big damage on the combo. Good, got the bomber. Let's get my bubble back. Got a lot of blocking charges, so it really buys you a lot of time to stay in the melee. Because for the priest, or the sword and buckler priest, from what I can tell, most of your damage comes from the proper melee combo. It's got a nice 5 swing. Alright, ends with a thrust. If you can land that thrust, it's big damage. There's also other ways to close the gap here. Let me see if I can dodge away. If I jump and attack, there's a really nice kind of downward swipe. Just gonna dodge out of the way here, get my bubble back. Love to take advantage of blocking. So check this out. If I jump and attack, I get this kind of like fighting game style, like air attack. And that can be really great for like jumping over enemies and getting to the back line. Especially if you have any kind of elevation, right? Elevate. You get a really nice downward attack. You also see me using a dash, but if I combine the dash with attack, I get a lunge. So there's a dash, attack. It's another good way to cover more ground. And get around an enemy to the back line. If you're trying to focus down an archer, someone on the back line. So my exit's waterfall. I think what I'll do is I'll just snake all the way down here, go across the river, past the woodland huts, past the cemetery, up to the waterfall. Maybe I'll go to bridge, we'll see. But just a cool PvE run. I mean, if I'm fighting a bunch of mobs, I'm kind of expecting for that to attract players, but we'll see what happens. Just some practice getting used to different abilities that the priest has. I'm still super new to the class. I play mostly rogue. So playing the priest is different. If the rogue feels like driving a go-kart, the priest feels more like driving a boat, where it's a bit slower, harder to turn. You need to be a little more intentional with the priest. But if you can get it to click, you get big damage. Go this way. There's a few more goblins to beat up this way. Yeah. Okay, so we'll put our bubble on. If we have time to prep for the fight, it's always good to bubble up. And again, we'll try to target the bomber there with our ability. Throw in the star as well. So there's using my lunge to get in close. Damage in, dodge away from the bombs. Let's do another ability. Keep my bubble up. And then jump attack. Very nice. Big damage. Bit of an audio glitch there. You will keep hearing the sound of your Heaven's Fury? Heaven's Fury, right? The orbital strike. Cool. And then we've got the gleaming star. I'm not going to mess around with the mirror too much, and if I remember, there's this sword of light ability that's really, really good too. So, we've got lunge, right? We've got jump and attack. But check this out. If I hold sprint, there's like a dashing ability too. I'm not sure if you could get a good look at it there. But it's another great way to open combat if you're fighting against a single opponent. Holding sprint, and look at that. Oh, I got hit by that. Oh, there's two bombers. Not great. Let's get my bubble up here. Get my bubble. Dodge, dodge. Let's get through these guys. Gotta be careful here. I don't want to get caught by these bombers. Especially in the muck. Keep the range damage going in. The sword also does have a crescent attack, right? I can click and hold my sword to do range damage. But the damage really isn't that great. Get my bubble back. I feel like it's really just like a poke style of damage. The crescent. I would never really expect to try to like kill an enemy doing that. The longer you hold it for, the more damage you do. But I prefer to focus on melee here. Sprint attack to open up. The burst damage is really incredible. When you stun them up, you can do a lot of damage. Okay. Yeah, we'll go south here a little bit. I also see that I've got the Ascend ability here. I think all priests... I'm not sure if you have to unlock that or spec into it. I think you get it by default. If you jump and then you hit dash in the air, you can ascend and you fly high up. So that Ascend can be really good for, again, launching into like a jump attack. I don't have my bubble here, so it's a little bit premature. Trying to... Oops. Oop, dodge away. Okay, let's get my bubble here. Never a good idea to fight melee without the bubble. It's so easy to take more damage than you want to. I'm just going to bandage up and heal up as I close the gap here. Just in case another player hears me, I do want to be full HP. So watch this. We'll do a little Heaven's Fury. And then we'll jump and we'll ascend and dash in. I didn't get quite the height I was looking for on my ascension there. For some reason. But you can see how this is another great way to cover space. So jump, ascend, and then you do your air attack. You can really lunge forward. It's a really cool way to close the gap. Lots of options. Lots of ways to play into the melee ability that the priest has. Lots of ways to close the gap. Get into that melee combo range where the big damage happens. Maybe now's a good chance to demo another cool thing. So let's, if we right click, we get the block going, right? But check this out. Another cool way to get people off of you, if you want to take a breath in combat, if you click and hold block, and then you left click, you get these kind of like, this amazing wing push. Like a wing blast, angelic blast. I don't know what it's called. But all you gotta do is hold block and attack. There is a bit, you aren't blocking when the wings come out. So you saw there at the beginning I was staggered. There are a couple of frames where you can be hit when you're trying to launch into that ability. But if you're able to get it away, it's a really good technique for pushing opponents back who are in melee range. See an open barrel here. My health is high, but not full. Not ideal, but I don't want to waste... Well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll just use a small bandage. I do like to be full HP whenever possible. Got the heals. I'd rather use them rather than die and lose them. Let's do this wolf here. So bubble up. Orbital strike. We'll just dash in here. Big combo damage. Nope. Mobs are tough. Oh, here comes a rogue. I see the rogue there. He's coming this way. He's invisible now. I'm going to do a special ability. Yep, here he comes. I dodged his dagger. I'm going to stay with him with my dash. He's just out of range. Let's bubble up again. See if we can get a orbital strike. He dodged it. He's out of stamina now, though. It looks like he's got an archer on him. I see him here. He's invisible. I'm going to ascend. Kind of a waste of stamina. Bubble up. We're bubbling. He's invisible. I hit him. Dodging. Let's get a star out. I missed him. He's quick. He's out of stamina again. So we close the gap on him. Big damage. Okay, we got him. Catching up. GG, brother. Closing the gap is so important, because all the damage for the priest comes from that melee combo. Got an extra backpack for our trouble. Always nice. It's got a lot of heals. I want to make sure that we're full up on heals here, too. I'm just going to take all the heals. Sure. So, pretty good example there of using the dash and lunge to try to close the gap best I could. And also the power of the bubble. I really didn't take a lot of damage there because I was using my block bubble here. And I was also taking advantage of this card. This prayer card. Holy Shield. You can craft this at the crafting bench, but this protects you with an additional damage absorbing shield. So very, very important there in preventing as much damage as possible. There's one other ability I haven't talked about yet. Let's see if we can do it here. Put my bubble on, and the reason I'm doing this is because when I hit Q, I'm going to hit Q, and it seems to, like, it does an AoE attack. This isn't the best example because this guy's kind of in an awkward spot. Very difficult to hit him. In that awkward spot. But basically, the Q ability charges up your sword. So you call in that AoE, you get like a blessing, and then you do more melee damage. I hear fighting, maybe? I'm gonna bubble up. This could be a rogue coming back. Doing my second bubble. Oh, this rogue just died to this red skelly. Let's call in the charge. And now I've got extra damage on my sword. Makes it easier to tank some of that red skelly damage. He had a skull key. Very nice things here. And let's see what this rogue had. Anything good? Looks like this rogue had a few things. I'll take a sweet potato. Great for cooking. And the rest I'll leave on his body. If he comes back for his body, he can have at that. And I'll use some of our many heals here. Just to get back to full. So, you can see there kind of that my Q ability, I'll show it here again, calls in an AoE, which hurts, and then it charges up my shield and I do extra melee damage. So another reason why the bubble is very important and good, because when you're summoning that charge, you are kind of vulnerable. So if you got a bubble up, you call in that big charge. There's just so many ways to synergize, to blend and mix your abilities together. To cover your butt so you can get your abilities off, and then you're in great shape for the fight. Red Skelly here. This is kind of danger zone, and I got a lot of stuff. So I think what I'll do is I'll just head for the extract right here and bank this. Instead of... This is a very, very high trafficked area. Down here by the bridge, between the cemetery and the bridge, I see more players here than almost anywhere else in the map. So fighting that Red Skelly there is just asking for trouble. So we'll just bank the... We'll bank the stuff. We'll head for the extract. Bubble up, because I am expecting a fight here. Okay, let's get our Heaven's Fury on the bomber. High value target. Do our star. And we'll dash in, I think that took care of him. Remember, we can right-click. Oops. We can right-click. We can right-click and use the wings, but you do have that moment of vulnerability. It does also take your blue energy bar. I think that's what that is. Energy. It's not stamina, but it's like you're casting energy, so you can't cast a whole bunch of things at once. But again, right-clicking, holding right-click, and then left-clicking gives you that angelic burst, which is really great for pushing people away from you. But you are vulnerable for a few frames there while your wings kind of kick back and swing forward. A great demo, great PvE demo of some of the mobility and attack options available to a priest using a sword and buckler. A little bit of PvP in there too. GG to that rogue. Hope you enjoyed the playtest. Hope to see you around Greenwood this weekend. Thanks for watching.